Well, well, well. It looks like one of our favorite grifting right-wingers who has somehow managed to keep up a veneer of being this, like, centrist, not conservative, not homophobic, not super far-right figure, has finally let the mask slip. At least let it slip enough that people are actually criticizing him now. The Quartering is without a doubt, like, the embodiment of the modern generation of grift tube skeptic, complain about everything being woke, complain about the left ruining everything type of content, right? He uploads like 8 videos a day at this point, and it's very clear that he's literally he's uploaded hundreds of videos on Brie Larson. I think like nearly 100 videos on She-Hulk now. It's very clear like what he's doing and why he's doing it. He also has a very creepy history. Everything from complaining about underage female characters not being sexy enough for him to jack off to in their presentation, at least in his opinion, to oh god, the weird like rant that he went. Oh god, do you guys? Oh, I forgot. I haven't shown you guys this before, have I? Oh man, hold on. Before I give you any more exposition, I feel I should give you, one of the chief rules of storytelling is to show instead of telling. So I'm going to do a little bit of showing instead of telling here, okay? Let's take a look at this.
Like, I'm the best friend. I'm like her best friend, but I pine after her. And then she just keeps banging all these other dudes. And then I'm like all sad. And then she like realizes that I was me all along, and that she comes to, and then she comes to realize it. And then we live happily ever after. Like, I think we could do that. I mean, that's what I think. It doesn't mean like, I think it's there. She could just keep hooking up with fit dudes, MMA dudes, and then like they don't make her laugh, They don't get her. And then there's me. I'm just like, oh,
keep going.
Hey Gina. Oh, you look tired. Did you bang another dude tonight? Oh, sweet.
Why is he still going?
Breaking,
What the fuck is happening?
Like,
the best cherry on top of that clip is Willie Mack's show at the end saying, "What the fuck is happening?" If you guys don't know, Willie Mack's show, who I once bested in the battlefield of ideas in debate, but now I consider to be a pretty chill guy, made a very good video on The Quartering. It's called like "The Quartering is Literally Evil" or something like that, with proof is the title of the video, and that is where that clip comes from. He's actually a pretty funny guy. His videos are very good. If you like Willie Mack's show and you were like turned off of his videos by my debate with him, you're honestly missing out on some pretty good content, all right? I genuinely recommend you check out his content. It's actually funny. It's actually good videos. Yeah, he missed a little bit politically once, but overall, I think his heart's in the right place. He's generally a pretty smart guy, I think, and he makes good content, and it's funny. So check it out. There's that video, of course, and then there's the fact that The Quartering started his career, like his rise to fame came about through a scandal, and that scandal was him being banned from all of the Wizards of the Coast events. So that's like D&D, Magic the Gathering. Basically all of your a bunch of nerds sit at a table and like for hours on end play a game together and eat snacks. That kind of game. Like, that's basically the stuff that Wizards of the Coast does. He basically got banned from all of their events for life permanently for sexually harassing cosplayers, female cosplayers at the events. The Quartering just couldn't keep his dick in his pants, seeing all those, I don't even know who would be getting cosplayed as at like a Wizards of the Coast event. He couldn't keep his dick in his pants, and I guess he went and sexually harassed some cosplayer and ended up getting himself banned from those events. And he went to the internet to complain about it, roused up an army of self-righteous, angry, nerd men online who feel as though women having the ability to call out those that have taken advantage of them sexually or physically or emotionally, or all of the above, frankly, but in this case, sexually, feel as though like Me Too has gone too far, or women have too much power to destroy a man's career. Basically like gathered an army of those types of people and brought that sort of community, which is already kind of I think you can imagine that audience is already kind of preset for enjoying the type of content he makes now, kind of brought that audience into the type of content he makes now. Now, he's got a lot of other really creepy and weird and horrible, just objectively horrible scandals under his belt. The problem is that with conservative figures like this, something you have to understand is that their audience is made up of two groups of people: the blissfully ignorant people being lied to, falling down the rabbit hole of propaganda that don't realize what's happening to them, that don't know the dark story and the dark reality behind what they're falling into, and the dumb fucks who are just so far gone they've bought into this shit and there's no pulling them out. They're too far gone. And those people are just so monstrous that upon learning about information such as TheQuartering was banned from all Wizards of the Coast events for sexually harassing cosplayers, their response to that is, who cares? I don't, like, they don't care about women. Like, yeah, he sexually harassed women. Who cares? They don't care about that. The only time they'll claim to care about it is if someone they hate is accused of doing it, or if someone they hate has a lie about them being accused of doing it come up, then they'll care about it. It's very obvious where their positions are. They don't give a shit about women or their safety, especially not when it comes to sexual safety or sexual health. If they did, they'd be out there rallying for sex ed to be taught in schools and for access to, sexual health care to be accessible on literally every single street corner, if they actually cared, which they don't. It's all virtue signaling. Anyway, though, cutting through all of that, most of his sort of scandals and his dramas, whether they be him just being outright racist, homophobic, sexist, transphobic, whatever, or him being a straight up creep, all these things have more or less been kind of swept under the rug by his community, right? Like, half his community that would care is kind of having it suppressed from them by the other half of the community that knows about it and doesn't care and doesn't want it to get to people that would. And now it seems like that's starting to fall apart, very much like the original reactionary content creators of old. Like your no bullshit creators. Like no bullshit went a long time just regularly JQing in his videos before like normies that watched his content started to realize, I think this guy's a Nazi. Why does he keep bringing up the Jews all the time? And of course, I draw the comparison to No Bullshit because No Bullshit started this genre of content. No Bullshit literally started this genre of content. You can literally trace it all back to No Bullshit. Anyway, unfortunately for TheQuartering, this shield of protection from broader public scrutiny he's had over himself for the last few years is starting to crack. He uploaded a tweet, and in that tweet was a short that he uploaded on YouTube. And he's been uploading a lot of shorts lately, and apparently in said shorts, he's a little bit more mask off, to say the least. And this short that he posted on Twitter got him ratioed as fuck, not just by lefty Twitter. I don't know if I'd be covering this right now if he had just been ratioed by lefty Twitter, because that's normal. Most of what the TheQuartering post gets ratioed by lefty Twitter. No. Drama YouTubers, even Keemstar, quote tweeted TheQuartering's post here calling him a homophobe and saying that the thing that he's calling out in this video is not bad. Fucking Keemstar called TheQuartering a homophobe on this. Mind you, Keemstar is the guy who on election day uploaded a video on Twitter in which he says, thank you, guys. Like, it's like him talking to the camera. He's like talking to the camera. He's like, thank you, guys. Y'all got out there and voted, and it was your votes that counted and got the president in office today. And then he walks away, and the camera switches, and it's a bunch of graves in a graveyard, because at the time, the Trump supporter conspiracy was that the Democrats were claiming dead people were voting for Biden to get Biden election, and the election was stolen. So yeah, Keem, a Trump supporter who pushed the big lie on Twitter, even he called TheQuartering homophobic for this. So let's go ahead and take a look. It's a simple tweet. Caption, she's coming for your kids. Let's take a look. What you got for me, Jeremy? What's up, buddy? All right, here we go.
Just another public school teacher coming out to their students and encouraging them to do the same. Nothing weird about that at all. Make sure you leave a like on this video and you subscribe so I can keep bringing these people to light.
Happy National Coming Out Day from your local, or probably not so local, queer teacher. I have a sticker on my mug that says support queer kids, which of course you can't read because I didn't put the flip filter on it. And one of my kids commented today on how much they appreciated that. And all of my rainbow on today, and I was like, well, it's National Coming Out Day. Like, I had to be covered in rainbows. And they were like, oh my gosh. So we talked about coming out, and they asked if they could make me cookies. It was very cute. I love my 10th graders. And to anyone watching this, worried about or thinking about coming out, no matter where you are in your coming out journey, you are valid and loved, and you will always have a place here.
True.
My name's TheQuartering, and if you enjoyed this, leave a like on it and subscribe or
God, he did two. This is a 60-second short. A 60-second short. And he managed to cram in 2 begging for likes and subscribes in that 60 seconds. Can you imagine how much of a shill you have to be? Should I just go full shameless like this guy? Do we need to fight fire with fire? Like, these guys know how to dominate the YouTube algorithm. Do we need to start going all the way? Do I need to start streaming 12 hours a day every single day, forcing Cherry to upload 3 video segments every single day, and just absolutely flood the YouTube algorithm? Yeah, go all the way. I feel like you guys would say it was cringe. But, yeah. Now, the funny thing is, if I'm being honest, that's what Asmund does. That is what Asmongold does, you're right. Actually, you're right. Fuck it. That is what I'll do. That's what Asmongold does. Holy shit, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like Asmongold. He is smart. Asmongold is objectively a smart guy. If it's working for him, then it's probably a smart idea. I should do that. Hold on. My toe is caught in, like, my blanket in a weird way. It's bizarre. Anyway, the funny thing about this video, what really stood out to me about this short is that this isn't really anything different from the average video by, like, libs of TikTok or TheQuartering or, like, Nerdrotic or any... Cut your nails, Ann? What? What? My nails are short. What are you talking about? What? They're literally, like, freshly cut short. I don't even... What are you even talking about? I don't know. Anyway, chat. The toenail? Oh, my toenails are cut. My toes are cut. What are you talking about? No stun locks. Anyway, no more foot fetishists in chat. I will ban you, okay? You degenerates. You fucking degenerate foot people in chat. I will drop the hammer on you. I will stomp you into the ground, though I know you weirdos like that shit. Anyway, that said, what really stood out to me about all this was that, like, this is no different than the kind of video that TheQuartering or, like, libs of TikTok or, like, any of these grifters would usually make. Like, what is all that different here? Most of the videos where it's like groomer, teacher, whatever, are just videos like this. And yet this video of all videos is the one that gets broader attention and, condemnation from TheQuartering. It really goes to show how much he's kind of flown under the radar, you know? Like, how much the bad shit he's done has flown under the radar. It really does demonstrate how much just getting the nefarious shit these grifting right-wing content creators are doing out to more eyes really matters. Because I'm being honest with you, how many subscribers to TheQuartering do you think know how many videos he's made on Brie Larson? They probably have seen like 4 and assume that's all of them. How many of them do you think have actually, like, trolled through his YouTube video uploads critically to be like, oh man, this guy's, like, kind of a fucking grifter? None of them are doing that. They're just letting autoplay happen, and they're like, oh, another video, okay. Like, they aren't thinking critically when they're consuming this content. This type of content is made in such a way as to eliminate your critical thinking skills while you're consuming it. Now, of course, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this. TheQuartering is calling for this teacher to be exposed, to be fired, when it's literally a teacher of 10th graders Anybody who's not familiar with American schooling, 10th graders are like 15 or something like that. Like, pretty old, old enough to know about gay people existing, right? And all she's saying is she's LGBT, she's wearing her rainbow shirt and her support queer kids, like, mug, and is supporting any of her LGBT students on National Coming Out Day. And that is it. Now, of course, the quartering and the right have spent the last year and a half, 2 years now, arguing that anything remotely mentioning LGBT people in a classroom is a teacher trying to groom a kid into the gay agenda. And the most popular examples of this have been fake stories, such as that one about how, like, apparently furry students were shitting in litter boxes in classrooms. And that, of course, was complete bullshit. That was, of course, complete cat shit, actually. There were no litter boxes. There were no furry students shitting in said litter boxes. That wasn't a thing. But stories like that, all it takes is a few memes going around, and the general sentiment that the meme gives off, even if you know it's not true, the sentiment that, maybe these transes are going a little too far with the kids these days, that sentiment, that vibe, that feeling is really all it takes. And that's what a lot of people who come out of these videos just take with them. This vibe that things are kind of off with the trans people and what they're doing with the kids these days, right? They couldn't put it into words. They couldn't actually make a solid argument or draw direct examples. The vast majority of them are just being fed propaganda, but they're falling for it, and that's pretty fucking dangerous, if I'm being honest. Anyway, it should not surprise you that a teacher being supportive of students that are at a higher risk of being bullied, ostracized by their parents and other family, and what have you, and probably have a lot going on in their lives. On top of being a teenager, like, listen, I think we all remember, some of you are in 10th grade. Many of us can probably remember being in 10th grade. There's a lot of stress on you. God only knows how much extra stress would be on you if you're LGBT on top of all of that, and you have the risk of family and friends and broader society disowning you and treating you differently and possibly worse, sometimes perhaps even better, but then it's like in this weird cringe way. It's definitely a stressful thing. So having a teacher like this is obviously awesome. No decent human being should be opposed to a teacher being this nice and this kind. But of course, conservatives, the ones that show this propaganda to people, are money-hungry demons that are absolutely milking every dime that their viewers' time is worth out of watching their videos and getting them to watch the same grifting, lying, propagandistic bullshit over and over and over again for their own profit. And listen, this isn't like a huge reveal, by the way, or anything. This isn't like me exposing the quartering as a grifter, okay? The quartering is open about being a grifter. Watch any debate he's done, and he will say that he just does what he does for money. He's literally started any video that he does where, like, for example, Brie Larson will, like, sneeze in a video or something, and he'll be like, oh, that is a demon escaping Brie Larson's body. That's what that sneeze was. I need to analyze that. So he'll do a video where he brings on a body language expert and, like, a priest from the Vatican to, analyze the video for 15 minutes of Brie Larson sneezing during an interview and try to get the exact frame where the demon exits her body. Of course, it's just one of many demons in their mind. And, that'll be a whole video, And he'll start that video. He'll start that video, of course, with a segment where he's like, how much does it cost to get a duck pond built in my yard? He'll do, like, a glib little segment at the beginning where he's being self-aware about how this is, like, 250th video on this completely harmless actress that's just a woman, and that's bad, and that's why he makes videos on her. It seems like people are starting to become a little more aware of the type of content creator the quartering is, and I'm curious how long it's going to take for this reputation to also catch up with the people that are exactly like him, such as Nerdrotic and, like, Critical Drinker and, like, the film skeptics. There's a lot of crossover in, like, the film skeptic community and this, like, grifter, like, say everything is bad because it's woke community, and they'll literally cross over all the time. It's a little bit like back during Gamergate when you had literal white nationalist and neo-Nazi figures doing crossovers with the likes of shoe-on head who is not a Nazi and made completely normie friendly content, and it was pretty kind of fucking cringe, you know? I wonder how it's going to end up down the road. The alt-right pipeline. Who would have thought? Listen, I will say, I was right about there being like another age of right-wing, I won't say supremacy, but right-wing like dominance online. I said it was coming, like a Gamergate 2, for lack of a better term. And I feel like we're currently in the beginning of it. I feel like we're in the beginning of it. I don't feel like we're even coming close to the middle or the end. I think we're still very much at the start of this next age of right-wing sentiment. YouTube, I think, judging off of the fact that figures like Abby Shapiro, Ben Shapiro, The Daily Wire, all of their subsidiaries, etc., PragerU, literal hate groups and whatnot are now advertising on YouTube and pushing their ads to way more people, growing faster than ever. We're seeing large lefty content creators, such as Vosh, getting false striked on YouTube, and then multiple times by YouTube on Twitter. They stand by their strike, their false strike, even though the thing that he got striked for was a reaction to a Republican political ad uploaded on said Republican's YouTube channel. A Republican politician's political ad that he reacted to that was hosted on YouTube is why he got banned. And YouTube on Twitter twice now has stood by their false strike on his channel for like dunking on that on that video. And of course, there's also Jesse Gender, who has also received a false strike just recently for calling out Matt Walsh. It seems like more than ever right now, YouTube is boosting conservative content creators and blowing them up in the algorithm while actively, it almost seems like it's the meme that the right is always talking about, actively punishing any left-wing figure that dares to call out conservative content figure. Who dared go after Jesse Gender? YouTube. YouTube gave her a false strike for calling out Matt Walsh. Her video's back up. I just watched it yesterday. Yeah, but Vosh's is not, and YouTube has stood by their strike multiple times. It's very clear. So back in 2019, a bit late to the party, if I'm being honest, there was this analysis of YouTube recommendations to see whether or not YouTube was pushing conservative content to new audiences joining the platform. And at the time, in 2019, when that data was gathered, during the rise of BreadTube, like, you know, when ContraPoints and Vosh and Destiny as well, and like all the left-wing figures were like blowing up on YouTube, the data did not suggest that was the case, which makes sense considering that study, all that data was collected after YouTube had put into place a change in their algorithm to suppress like misinformation and more like hateful content. Lately, though, now that it's been a few years, especially with the proliferation of the Shorts algorithm, it feels like something's changed. Doesn't it, chat? It feels a lot like 2015 and 2016 again, where it's just constantly, you can't escape the right-wing videos being sent to your recommended. You see like a video by some chud content creator uploaded 5 hours ago and it has like 500,000 views. Shit like that. Like feminist-owned compilation, 8 million views uploaded last week. Like, holy fuck, you know? It feels like we're back in 2016 again, you know? 2014, if I'm being honest. Feels like a more apt comparison. And honestly, figures like TheQuartering are just the tip of the iceberg with this new age of right-wing grift content. I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait to see the like waves of Zoomers in like 2 or 3 years making their videos about how they fell out of the Andrew Tate like I don't even know what they'd call it, like whatever they end up calling it, the alt-right pipeline to How I Escaped. Like I'm excited to see those videos down the road. Those are going to be very entertaining. Those will be some good reactions on stream if you ask me. Anyway, who knows? Maybe this spells the end or the end of times for the Quartering's channel. Now that more and more normies are becoming aware of the fact that he is not, in fact, just a centrist who's complaining about media being made worse by woke diversity quotas or whatever, but he is in fact an overtly far-right conservative figure who is just saying anything that contains minorities in it is bad and grifting money off of his partly very right-wing, but also a lot of just generally, gamer bro nerd audience, right? He's got very broad appeal. Like every other video, he'll make a video that's just a random gaming media news video meant to draw in the normies, and then he puts out a video meant to push conservative propaganda, like conservative ideology, right? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like, whether you're watching it live or if you're watching this as a segment or the VOD after I've finished going live. It really does help out the channel. It pushes my stream and my videos to way more people, and it forces YouTube. It's basically a pay me an exposure button is what the like button is. So go ahead and press it if you can't donate. And of course, if you want to see more from me, you can subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And of course, if you want to see more from me online, just in general, you can follow all of my social medias, which are linked down below in the description, including my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and my fan Discord. And of course, finally, if you've got some extra money and you want to support me financially, I am of course saving up right now to move to Seattle and start doing all sorts of new types of content, including raising quail. A little bit of animal husbandry as part of my content, mixed in with politics sounds fun, as well as plenty of real-life collabs with some of your favorite political content creators like Vosh and Conyer and Demon Mama and whatnot. It's going to be very cool. And yeah, just if you want to support that, then hit the like button, subscribe, and if you really, really want to support it, you can donate too. You can do so on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, or even through Patreon. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. No matter how you support me, I really do appreciate it, and have a good one.